Okay, happy Saturday. It is freezing today, so I've got the garage door over there closed. I don't know. I think that this this little space heater, I don't think it's gonna do the thing, but every little bit helps. So quick update on the bike. I've been doing some stuff off camera, just kind of boring stuff. Didn't think you guys would like to see it. So basically removed the wiring harness, that's all gone. Sans the little bit of wire that goes in through the fender here, up underneath for the rear tail light. Just gonna have to ask about, like, do I have to take off the chain and disassemble all of this to get that fender off? I just don't know. I would like to remove the speedometer cable. It's just kind of rusty. You'd love to clean it up a little bit, give it a nice polish and make it look a little better. And look at the state of these cooling lines, like rough time. So these definitely have been pinched when installed, and the amount of cooling that these are receiving now is really limited. Remove the battery box. This guy gave me a little bit of trouble. Gonna scrape the rest of them out. I guess someone glued that rubber mat to the bottom. Not great. Got the gearbox back on, thanks to Mr. Robin Bloodworth. Appreciate your hands on that one. And then basically got off the front guardrails that help you when you have to layer down. And also the rear guardrails are off. So yeah, looking like a little bit of a pile over here. As far as the gas tank, oil tank, toolbox, and then all the chrome bits, including the muffler, those are all off. And just so you can see the state that the wiring harness was in, here's what is left, and I cut very little, like maybe just the end connectors on. Here it is. Whoa. So this is just super fragilistic expiala. Oh, noses. Look at this. Oh gosh. So yeah, crusty and fragile and just falling apart. Anyway, do I reuse these spark plug cables or do I just get new? I'm thinking new because electricity. Anyway, all the parts are all lined up, ready to go back in the bike, and including gaskets and gasket sealers. And I got the manual. Yeah, just had some questions and next best steps. I think pulling the motor would allow me access to replace the oil pump and also get into replacing the clutch and the clutch hub bearing. But I actually have access to people who know what they're doing, which is amazing. Let's give Wally a call. He might have some really key insights and give me some much needed pointers. Hi, Wally. So essentially—
Is it snowing here?
You're funny. It feels like it. It's so cold.
It's snowing here.
It's cold here. How cold is it?
Yeah, it's not fun.
But like you said, this is the time to do this stuff because you can't be out riding right now, right? There's just no way.
Exactly.
I've been taking your advice. I've been busy. Things that I got a question about is these holes. These holes are not necessarily centered. They're kind of drilled off center. Is that correct? Like, or did someone go at it and like drill additional holes? Because even where the one bolt has been sheared off inside, you can see that it's like not center.
I mean, I think that's pretty common. I think that, in the late 40s, early 50s, those frames, they're castings, and, they weld that whole thing together, and then they have some kind of fixture, and nothing to be concerned about or nothing to worry, and it's pretty normal.
Okay. Would you recommend replacing the wires from the coil to the spark plug?
Yeah, I would. I mean, as much work as you're putting into this, there's no reason not to at this point.
Are you ready to see the coolant lines or what they did to this poor motorcycle? Yeah. Okay, here we go. What is this kind of whole thing going on? You can just see how it was just severely pinched, like over here, over there. So yeah, order of the day to replace this. Absolutely, like good call. So how far do I go? I did go ahead and pick up per Pete's recommendation, the bolt kit, because cadmium plated bolts and washers and everything. I just thought it would be easier as I pull this apart. I'm finding this out. They made their own bolts, so both sides threaded, and then sometimes the cap wouldn't fit quite right, so they just like sheared off the end. It has like a hole in it, right? So that's not even it's kind of like, we can do better. I guess my question is, my next step is, I think I pull the motor. If I want to replace the club hub bearing and also the oil pump, would it be easier to do it on a bench somewhere versus like on the bike?
There's really no need to take the engine out, because when you put on the bench, it's just when you work on it, it's going to move all over the place and you won't be able to hold it. And now you got a nice secure bike that's going to hold it, and there's no reason to take the engine out.
Love it. Love it so much. And in order to put the front fender on, because I got the right fender, I have to take the wheel off, right? What about the back fender? Do I have to take the wheel off and the chain in order to get the fender off? Because I have to rewire up under all those clips to put the new wiring harness through.
No, that should lift out. You'll know very quickly. Come out. It should come out. There's no I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't. I think with everything else you have off, it should just lift right out.
Awesome.
Obviously,
awesome.
The chain guards has to come off first.
Chain guard comes off.
To take the brake pedal off, obviously, to get the cover off.
So then that brings up the question about like oil pump. I can do it while the bike's in there, but do I need special tools for that?
Oil pump, you do not, which is, obviously on the other side. But no, that's an easy pull the cover and change it. That's very simple to do. Pete has like a little instruction manual on how to do that. I don't know if he sent that to you, but it's pretty straightforward.
Well, I have you here. Do you have a preference for like degreasers, like mineral spirits, or like there's just so much caked on years and years of neglect? What do you have a recommendation?
Do it by hand with like a brush and wipe it off or something. I typically use like a simple green type of product.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the odor of the rest of the fumes and chemicals if possible.
I will say the wife has commented, boy, it sure smells like a garage in here now.
Yeah, exactly. So, try to keep that to a minimum. There's no reason to be huffing that all day.
Really love your design and everything for the plug. Like there's no like easy way to get a wrench around this unless you have a bigger wrench. I can use I use one of these guys, but you're just going to tear it up over time. Right. So has somebody 3D printed a socket for this yet?
Indian actually made a wrench, which I might have a couple. I need to look. I could get you one. What I could do is if I don't have an original wrench, I could laser cut you a wrench.
Okay, great. Then I guess that brings up the question about the clutch hub. If I take this off, will I be able to remove enough to measure the springs to tell you whether or not the springs are too big, or do I need a tool for that as well?
You'll pull that cover off, and then basically there'll be 6 screws, and you can pull the cover off and examine you can change the clutch pack, and then we can inspect the springs. Now, if you are planning on changing the bearing in the clutch hub, that's a whole nother project, which requires a special tool to pull that. I'm going to have to send you the correct puller and pull it off, and then we can get you fixed up.
Do you have a clutch hub bearing available already made?
Yeah, I have. I don't know if you have one or not. I think we were waiting to see if you needed it. To your point, if you got that tore down, and if you're going to put all back together, then have an issue.
And when you said to me, man, you got a lot of work ahead of you, you were right.
Yeah, I told you. But it's fun, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. It is quite the hobby.
Did you get your fender tip installed on your fender?
I did not. Unfortunately, he did try to mount the rear fender tip on the front fender, which then put 2 holes in the wrong place. So now just by putting the front fender tip there, the 2 holes are obvious and they're above it. As the water comes around, it's going to come out those holes and just make everything black and gross. And so I created a problem for myself because I made a mistake.
That happens. But, there's a couple of options you could do that. Obviously the correct way would be to, braze them or weld them up and grind them and repaint it, but that's going to be expensive. And you could probably put a rivet that you can get some more paint and then kind of dab it in there. And I think you can make it fairly decent where I'm looking right now, I'd never notice it. You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
I'd hate to have to do all that work and spend that time and money just for that.
Okay, but I think it's going to be easier once I get this fender off. Yeah. I will take that fender, this, and the front fender on the oil tank here, where there is this guy.
And you got to paint that chain guard too,
because this is the wrong color.
It should be yellow.
Because if I leave it silver.
No, if you're going to paint the other stuff, paint that as well. It's very easy at that point.
I just wish I lived closer, because I would be like, knock, knock, knock. Are you awake?
Yeah.
Hey, Wally, I got the wonderful toolbox off with the surprise use box on the back, which I'll get my toolbox back, which will be nice when I pull this out of here.
Oh, I do have your mount for the coil too, for the frame. I do have that.
Yes, thank you for the coil mount. That would be essential.
I don't want to create more work for you, but one thing sticks out like a sore thumb is the push rod tube covers. See how they're painted yellow? They're yellow, right?
Yes.
They kind of stick out. It's just, they kind of drive me crazy, but it's up to you.
I definitely see.
The reason I'm bringing it up is in order to take those off, basically it's it would probably take an hour to take those out.
Because I don't know any better, they don't bother me that much.
Okay,
and
good.
They're
all right,
pretty
well
close.
then good. I just won't look at them.
Look over here, Wally. Avert your eyes.
The light is blinding me.
I'll wrap them in tinfoil so that you're like, you won't see it. Yeah, I think it's coming together. I didn't know that when I bought this bike, it was going to be quite a investment in time and space. And
yeah.
But
well, I mean, it did run. I mean, you didn't have, again, it's just a matter of you're just trying to make it better. And
I think we're making good progress.
I think so. Before you put the gas tank on, we're going to want to, check the valve lash too.
I don't know what a valve lash is.
The 4 covers on top of the cylinder head. There's a process where you need to rotate the engine so that the piston's at top dead center. And then there's basically rockers arms in there, which actuate the valves. There's got to be a gap in there. This is all in the manual, and it actually does a decent job explaining it. And it's worth doing with the gas tank off and as far down as your strip, just to make sure everything's good.
I was honestly super surprised at how quick it came apart. Yeah, it's just kind of going through methodically, piece by piece. But not having to pull the motor is very good. I can sleep better tonight.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Cool. Okay. Now I feel bad about the yellow. Who did that? The guy who did that is the guy who did this.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, I think the big project now is, getting that oil pump upgraded and getting to figure out the clutch stuff. That's going to be the most time consuming plus you've never done it. And it's going to be a little bit of a process, but we'll get there.
For the oil pump, I'm going to wait until I receive it from you before I take it off.
So I need to modify the one that's in there though.
Oh, take this one and send it to you.
Yes.
What's the process of taking out the oil pump?
It's really easy. Let's go to the other side. If you can you bring your camera over there?
I can do one better.
Oh wow, it's on wheels.
How you like me now, Wally?
I love it.
That would have been so hard and or impossible had the bike just been on the ground, right?
So basically, step number 1 is to drain all the oil.
Drain the oil. Gotcha.
So you got the oil lines off already on the cam, that cover. They're already off, so that's good. You're going to have to remove the generator. That cover won't come off otherwise. It's just the small screws around the perimeter you have to take off.
Right, all the way around, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Not the 2 middle ones or that one there or the big one. You're just going to have to tap it with like a rubber mallet to get it off. Where that extrusion is, where it's popped out inside there, on the other side is the oil pump. There's a gear that you're going to take the gear off, and there's 4 screws that hold the pump on. You take the screws out, and the pump will come right off.
Take off this cover, take off that cover, inspect, pull parts, and then get back to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Some of that stuff is in the manual, and it's not bad. Like if you go to that area of the manual, and it will explain it to you.
I will consult the manual per Wally and make sure that I do my best. This is great. Great. Yeah, my wife was worried about being unsafe on a motorcycle, but when you buy an old motorcycle, unless it falls over on you, it's it's very safe because you're not driving it.
You spend all your time working on it.
That's exactly right.
And especially this one, once you get it done, it's not like you're going to be setting any speed records on it or anything like that either. So cool.
I'm going to get to wrenching and you taking things apart.
Well, stay warm.
More disassembly ahead. Fantastic.
All right. Keep me posted.
You're amazing, Wally. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
No worries.
And I'll let you know how I go.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, VW. I'll talk to you later,
man.
All right, bye.
So I've got my marching orders, what to do, what not to do. Don't take out the motor, VW. And maybe I'll give Robin a call. We'll see. All right, guys, make it a great week. Thank you so much for popping by. Don't forget to subscribe and like this episode. It really helps the channel a lot to grow and expand as I try to grow and expand my mind and motorcycle information. I do not have any idea what I'm doing, so any thoughts or comments in the video below would be super helpful. Thank you so much, guys, and see you on the next one.